I try. Let's see if I can put. It's
Keith,
not
you're like a
working.
3-year-old tonight. Come on.
What are you talking about?
You're hyperactive, I guess. I don't know.
Camera sensor may be used by another application. Audio, So I tried doing that a couple times there. So I don't know what the heck is going on here. Let me try this again, dude. All right. Blah blah blah. Once more there. I tried this last when I tried to call on Ken's program there over the weekend there. Settings. I don't know why it's doing this, man.
I just got off camera.
Well,
I noticed.
all right.
Yeah.
Let me try one more time to put myself
Hey,
in.
Danny MT.
Yeah, where is he at?
He's here.
Oh,
What
on the
up, Danny
call?
MT?
Danny owes me a show here, so.
All right,
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Danny? What's up, bud?
What's going on, man? How are you?
We're about to start our music show talking about them crooked ass managers in rock and roll there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. So how's everything hanging with you, dude?
Everything's good, man. Work staying steady. I got a big bonus offer to relocate again, but I particularly don't want to go to the area up north. But it's a bonus pay and a lot more on the annual paycheck. So
All right.
I had to paperwork stuff today and some physical shit or whatever and all that. And
I see, though. Yeah.
so we'll see what happens. I don't know, but other than that, yeah, I've just been pretty busy. If you see me around, I'm just kind of like in a chat. I'm just so fucking busy. My hours are not the same anymore. Where I used to be able to hang out all night.
I know how that is.
I'm up super early because now I'm doing the gym first before work, and then I get home and I eat and I go to bed early. So you don't catch me on anything late. Sometimes, but not like it used to be. But everything's good. How about you? How about yourself?
Just doing my work thing as always there. I plan on going to Numbers nightclub tomorrow night after work as always there. Blah, 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 and all that goody stuff there.
I thought fucking Numbers closed down.
No, they reopened last year, believe it or not.
Oh.
And I finally got a chance to start going back there months ago there when I finally got my own car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they
Man,
closed during the pandemic.
Danny, did you block me on Skype?
Did I block you on Skype? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, okay. All right.
You and your tomfoolery with the other shit. I don't know. I might have. I don't know. I don't.
What the hell's going on?
Oh,
here with
okay.
this?
It looks like you blocked me,
But
but it's okay. I don't mind. I'm not on Skype anyway, except for this show.
other places too. Other places that you blocked me, so I don't even know why you would question me about that.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyways, so what's up now? Like, wait. Oh, and who else is here? Is that Arknolia, the other guy
that's
that's
him, dude.
super fucking smart about all the music? How are you doing, man?
I'm okay.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. That's all I care about. Day is done. Yeah.
I know I gotta get up. Here. I got a special 12-hour shift to do tomorrow wee in the morning there. So but no problem there. More money in my pocket. That's for shizzle.
We in the morning, bye.
Yep.
Any good concerts coming into Houston here soon?
Judas Priest is.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's right. It's November 29th. It's on the Tuesday.
Is it going to be at the Woodlands Pavilion?
No, it's going to be at the White Oak Music Hall. That's on Main Street in downtown H-Town there. I got to find out where that's located.
Yeah. They're going straight downtown.
Oh, Keith.
Yes, Wyatt.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Wyatt?
We had Oh my god, Extreme Shaft on yesterday.
Yeah, for a couple of short minutes there.
Yeah, he's cool.
But
Yeah.
honestly,
Oh, too. I apologize. Wire hit me up, and I was actually at a doctor's appointment. And then as soon as I left, I just drove straight home and I ate something real quick and I passed the fuck out. Oops, sorry. So,
I know you're not the only ones with audio issues right now. Right now,
Oh snap!
Key.
Yeah.
Rap. Let's go.
I check
Open the show.
Check the West Coast, man. They call that big sign. So not
gosh, we gotta go for that again.
Hit the chat, go the black. I can tell that you saw the thing.
Is he speaking English?
I have no dang
He's
clue.
Jamaican. Speaking
No.
Rasta.
I thought he was speaking Kryptonian first.
I saw they said all minute good. I learned they begin to present all but it's all. And then they don't say, what I'm so many condiments from your
Hang on.
Put a clap it. Get a pot up his ass quick, folks.
Welcome to Music Maniacs, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Arknolia, Roger Brown, Keith, and a little special guest, Danny MT. We're talking about bad management.
Yes, and
We do
there's-
have some news.
That's
Lots
right.
of news.
And I sent you some moments ago, Wire, about the current bass player of ZZ Top coming on stage with an 18-string bass guitar.
that's sick.
More than sick. It's like you're going to need about 5 maybe extra arms to play the whole damn thing there.
Oh, right.
And they...
Wow.
Yo, I'm gonna go on camera in like 2 minutes.
I'm unable to go on camera as I stated here because for some dumb reason with the Skype issues there. Pretty Skypes, as always. Right there. And also what they get into is somebody here that let's see here. Let's go to Blabbermouth about
The Sharon Osbourne.
Sharon
stuff.
Osbourne's beef with Bruce Dickinson, calling him a Ozzy wannabe. Well, first and foremost, Bruce Dickinson is his own, individual, as everybody knows. He's been his own front man. I guess what this beef started during the one of the Ozfests where Iron Maiden was on with them. This was I guess it was in 2004, a year after Black Sabbath got back with and it also has with Judas Priest returning with Rob Halford. Here we got it right here. Sharon Osbourne calls Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden a fucking asshole and says that he is jealous of Ozzy.
Oh, whatever, man.
Yeah. Sharon Osbourne has blasted frontman Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden as a fucking asshole and he was jealous of her husband, Ozzy Osbourne. The frontman of Iron Maiden was involved in a verbal battle with the wife and manager of Ozzy for more than a decade half ago when his band was pelted with eggs, lighters, and ice during the final performance of the headliner performance at the Ozfest tour. Sharon reportedly offered interference with Maiden's PA system, delayed the stage entrance of the band's mascot Eddie, and even encouraged the crowd to throw bottles at Dickinson because she took offense to remarks that the singer made about concerning the quality of the band's sound system, of the tour sound system, I meant to say, and criticisms he made about Ozzy. Among the comments she objected to was Dickinson telling fans during Maiden's set that they would never see his band featured in a reality show. A remark to the Osbourne's reality series that was on MTV a couple years earlier. And also, let's not forget the Battle for Ozfest, where a bunch of bands would compete to be one of the bands in the Ozfest festival. Now, while Consequences Sound recently interviewed Ozzy, the site asked the metal icon if he felt he was underrated as a singer. Well, obviously not. Compared to other legendary vocalists like Ronnie James Dio, Rob Halford and Judas Priest, and of course, Bruce Dickinson himself. Ozzy responded, "Bruce Dickinson is a great singer, but not as a person. I've worked with him, and he is not very nice." Ozzy even said Ronnie James Dio is no longer alive. He was a great singer, and I don't really know him so well. I'm not one of these guys that say many things about people. The truth is the truth. I met Ronnie James Dio a couple times in the past. He took my Black Sabbath gig, but at the same time, I cannot complain because I did great on my own. Ozzy continues by saying, but I don't sing for a judge. I sing for my fans. If my fans don't buy my music, that would tell me my singing isn't good anymore. But they're still buying my records. I am my own worst critic. I don't rate myself more than Ronnie James Dio or Bruce Dickinson. That's not my gig. I don't care. I have fun doing what I'm doing. My goal is to turn the audience on, and that's what I try to do. I'm not interested in if someone thinks I'm a fucking joke. That's fine. That's their opinion. Now, Sharon, who was interviewed for the same cover story, was far more scathing in her remarks, saying that Bruce Dickinson is a fucking prick. Well, no, he's not a prick because a prick is nice. He's a fucking asshole. Because of the situation, he was on tour called Ozfest, and Ozzy Osbourne was paying him every night to perform. He accepted the gig. He knew what he was doing. He accepted the gig. And every night he would go on stage and say bad things about Ozzy. And the crew and everybody and the other bands would be like, why are you letting him get away with this? And I'm like, I sure am. But the last gig outside of LA, and I thought, you motherfucker, now you're going to get it. So I had about 20 people in the audience, and a lot of them were nurses from the Cedar Sinai, because I had cancer at the time. They were all my chemo nurses. They all came down, and they pelted the shit out of him. And my thing is this. You play, you pay. But the thing is, if you're being paid like to do a gig, but you don't like the person, to fuck off, then don't stay, take the money, take all the good that's coming to your band, being on the festival, doing 24 shows, still slagging the person that's paid you. It's like, no, that makes you an asshole. And he is. And he has never apologized. He's never went up and said hello to Ozzy. The thing about him is he's just so jealous. And has always been of Ozzy. That is his problem. Sharon continued by saying, because the thing about Bruce Dickinson, he's hugely successful. He has a great fan base. A great fan base that has been loyal. The band are great guys. All the members of the band are great, and they do great. You know, they're a great band. You can't take it away, and neither one will I take that away from him. But the thing about Bruce is, he is unknown to the public. Not really necessary here, Sharon. Bruce Dickinson could walk into anywhere, and nobody know who the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a faceless singer to the general public. People are not scrambling to get him for an interview. And the thing is, he's not interesting. But the thing is, Ozzy is original and Bruce isn't. And that's what eats Bruce away. I don't know about Bruce being unrecognizable in the public because he did a couple of spoken word performances with no hinge there. And I understand all the venues that he did these in.
Well, anyone who's seen Iron Maiden or Bruce Dickinson's solo speaking tours is an Iron Maiden fan.
Absolutely, yeah.
The general public obviously knows who Ozzy is more than him.
Yeah.
I can see what she's saying, but she's still, you know what I'm saying? That's basically Ozzy's management is Sharon.
Yeah.
And she makes the rules, she calls the shots type thing. And
absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fucked
correct.
up, but
yeah. But then again, that's how it is, you know.
Bruce Dickinson is an asshole, so she's right about that, because he'd be telling, like, people that smoke weed at the shows,
that's for sure.
Like,
he got called out by that singer from Hatebreed, and I guess the singer from Devil Driver. They called him out because of that. I mean, I'm sorry. People smoke weed a lot of times at shows, no matter what. Anybody else be like, yeah, whatever. But I guess he has a real thing against that, you know. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just makes no sense. Well, So anyway,
I
that's
know.
go ahead.
The first time I ever heard of Ozzy Osbourne was the reality show on MTV.
Well, I knew about him way before, years before, when I first started listening to
Yeah, I
rock
know.
and roll. I was told they played
I
a
know.
Black Sabbath song on the radio there, and they said, "Who's the singer?" Well, he left the band, so that told me right there, what was up.
Yep. Yeah.
So in a year later, around 1980, that's when we would get the song, actually the album, Blizzard of Oz. And of course, as I mentioned in one of my vlogs, this past Monday was the 41st anniversary of Diary of a Madman, the last record to feature Randy Rhoads on guitar. And it's a great album, by the way. I was tempted to buy the new vinyl version of it, but yet, you know what? I'd rather save my money for when I find the original copy at a used record store.
Is that So you do know that this goes for everyone on this call, that basically after Ozzy left, because the last two albums of Black Sabbath weren't very big selling albums.
No, the only I think that's true there. A lot to think about it. A lot of people were saying that at that time, they should get Ozzy back in the group. And there was a rumor around high school saying that Ozzy was asked by Sabbath to rejoin the group, but he declined, saying he was having the time of his life since leaving Sabbath. And plus, it would take how many years and how many talks, how many things straighten out for the four of them to finally get back together. Ozzy, Terry, Bill, and Tony there. Terry being, of course, Geezer. Because there was a lot, because Ozzy had a lot of resentment towards Sabbath for the way they fired him from back in '79. And plus, the fact that they got Ronnie James Dio, somebody else, to sing his vocal parts. At times he felt like he basically described it as seeing your wife with a brand new boyfriend.
Yep.
And it hurt, and it kind of hurt. So he said a lot of shit about Sabbath, called them Blackmore Sabbath, saying they sound like Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. He even went ahead and called Dio a gnome because the guy was reportedly a short dude. And I guess Dio still haven't really forgiven Ozzy for those words, because obviously years ago, because you may remember back in '92 at Ozzy's supposed farewell tour at the Costa Mesa? Yeah, it was the same gig where Rob Halford sang with Sabbath. I sent YR that performance there. They got Rob Halford to take Dio's place because Dio refused to participate. Now, here's something else. According to Ozzy, he sent this statement saying, I don't want to, this is Ozzy's big moment. I don't want to spoil it. But the facts that he got from Dio personally said, never will Ozzy Osbourne share the same stage with Ronnie James Dio.
And with that, brings me to the point: how does Patreon in this community? The Patreon.com/Arknolia.
That's right, people.
Just got done doing a cartoon show yesterday.
Actually, a part one.
Keith was on there.
I haven't posted it yet, but it'll be there.
Right. He'll be up there either way, people. There.
Next week's subject is going to be what, Art? More into cartoons, right?
Yeah, because we didn't really get into them deep.
Part two.
There was a lot more to go into there.
Parts on that. We haven't even gotten to the 90s stuff, which, in my opinion, what had the most views, was the most popular in cartoons. More long running than any other, because 2000 those 90s cartoons. Even Beavis and Butthead. I'm talking.
Oh man.
You can talk about that. You can talk about, your Ren and Stimpy's, all that stuff. Nickelodeon cartoons. There's a lot there. It's going to be a multi-part series on Ark's Patreon. So I pay by credit card, cash, or check on that. And all the money does go to Ark. We
Yeah.
shop on the mountain and everything. So, Ark,
Mhm.
tell
Yeah, 'cause
people where
I'm
to
a
find
poor
this at,
guy.
or the website on this one.
I'm sorry?
What's the website? What's your website, sir?
Oh, patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Arknolia, ARKNOLIA.
Mhm.
And we have TV stuff there. I have some movie stuff there. A little bit of wrestling. Music, a lot of it.
Wow.
Baseball.
Cool.
I just like the sound.
And I do something on Patreon with music that we can't do here. And I
Yes.
play little pieces of the music.
Yes. All right.
Throw a little clip of
Arknolia, Patreon,
Yeah.
talking this
I'll
again.
fucking
$1, $3, $25 a month. The Patreon, it's the fucking love, and we love, and we love, and we love doing that. We record a video, record a damn thing, talk about this.
And you do
Talk
to help
about
a
the
poor
tune.
man who's
Arknolia.
trying to live on Social Security and having a tough
Social
time.
Security, living off the government. He's a veteran. Keith, go ahead, get on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, your turn, Keith.
Hello. Go great.
Keith, you there? Oh, great.
Yo, check
There
it.
you are.
On the sunny side, at the score on the side, at the trains on the mind, on the sun one side, and the cussing many trolls, and the spotting many gone, and the daddy running sword.
What was that?
When the jaws is quick, go to 20 years quick. Therefore, try and it's going in there, and it's just 20 just in jail. Goodbye. My headphones came out. Oh yeah.
All right, thank you, brother.
Hi, yeah. You're welcome.
Let's go quick run through Blabbermouth real quick. Make sure we. I'll look up this one because I forgot about this one, Brown.
Okay.
This was a thing on Friday or Sunday. It was past weekend in Florida, Keith. The Hollywood venue, the rock and roll, the Hard Rock.
Hard
Rock
Rock
venue?
Hotel Casino, Seminole, Hollywood.
Yes, it was
Yes.
held there, and it was Metallica playing homage to basically the first people that signed them, independent label, Megaforce Records.
Yeah,
I know
exactly,
the management passed away a while back, but they played the first
Yo.
two albums. They played the first two albums, which they rarely play.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a couple songs on the, Freedom the Bell Tolls, others that we heard of, but the first two albums
Yes, it was like
of songs.
yeah.
They played that Phantom Lord one. You know that one?
We know that
Yeah.
one.
Phantom Lord. I mean, they played a multitude, of the early stuff. But it was down the street. I mean, Keith, how far is that away from you? I mean,
30 minutes.
Keith could have gone to this thing.
You
But,
could've, man.
And
You
it's
sh-
it's
they
a
should've.
20-minute drive from my mom's house. 20-minute drive from my mom's house. And actually, I was driving by the Guitar Hotel on Friday night at night, and it had it all lit up like Metallica, like it was scrolling Metallica on the whole guitar,
What?
the whole 450-foot guitar,
You should take a picture of that.
450 feet in the sky.
You should take a picture of that asshole.
Yeah, we gotta see that, man.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. All right, next time.
Right there. All right.
Next time it shows a band or a group, I'll take a picture of it.
All right. So all right.
Hey.
So, shall we get into the topic, dudes?
Hello. Yeah, come on, Brown.
Yeah, let's
I'm
do
here.
it.
Okay,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
this.
Fucking go, dude.
Okay,
Hell
I'm
yeah,
ready to
come
go.
on.
I was waiting to see if you guys had anything more to say before we got into this, or is that it?
No.
Not
All
me.
right, then. Okay, so everybody, now, as we've done this show for how many for the past couple of years there, we've always discussed it, the issues with the music industry. Like yesterday we talked about the teen idol business and how that operates there. But now we're going to get into something that I guess almost every band from the 1970s and a couple in the 90s and every lot of bands have gone through. Even some of the boy bands from the early 2000s have went through this, which was bad management or crooked management, either way there. And there was a lot out there that were very crooked. Like Ark mentioned Terry Knight, who managed Grand Funk Railroad. Apparently what it was is that, I'll let Ark explain what he was doing to those guys there. Flint, Michigan's own.
He was basically stealing millions from them by making them sign contracts that made a lot of the lion's share of the money coming in go to him and his group, and they got very little out of the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Even Bruce Springsteen, the management he had at that time, it basically had the lion's share of the money was going to his manager, whose name escapes me. That he sued to get off his contract, and that took a couple of years there. That explained there was a long amount of time between Border Run and Darkness on the Edge of Town back in '78 there when that record was released. Apparently what it was is that they finally got together at some location. Bruce gave up the money, and this guy gave up the control. And right afterwards, John Landau, the writer for Rolling Stone, who praised Bruce's music in the past, became the new management. And he's still there involved with them to this day there. Now, we also cannot forget Bud Cowsill. He was a son of a bitch. Apparently, he was abusive to his kids as well there. He was the one who came up with the idea of having their mom as a member of the group when she really wasn't in. She didn't really. She wasn't in approval of that. Needless to say, she just wanted to be a regular household mom and all that stuff there. But they put her in the group, as an actual member. All she did was play tambourine or something like that. It just made no sense. And you know what? That kind of made me puzzled as well. That's like, is the mom the leader of the group or what it is? So it's like, well, who are these little kids with this elderly lady there? And it kind of makes sense now what it was. It was a Bud Cowsill, the father. And apparently, I don't know if he beat his kids or what it was, but there was a story that little Susan Cowsill, she said that her father almost tried to molest her. But, gave up, figured you're not worth it, kind of type of deals there. We also got Joe Simpson, who was the manager of Jessica Simpson, this pop singer, and her little sister, Ashley Simpson, who was we never seen and heard from since lip syncing like Saturday Night Live years back when she first got started. That was a dumbass mistake to do there. He basically, tried to foil. When Jessica married that guy from 98 Degrees, he was disapproving of that because basically Nick Lachey, yeah, he didn't want her involved with anybody because, as I mentioned yesterday, if you're a teen pop star, whether it's boy or girl, you have to remain safe because you have members of the opposite gender lusting for you, and they find out that you're taken, that you're married, that you're engaged, they'll turn their backs on you and go to someone else, and that could cost the artist lots of money in ticket sales, album sales, merchandise sales, you name it there. So that's why when they see somebody, when some fans see them hang around with some hot chick or some hot boy, the press usually tells them, oh, they're just friends, when they're really not, because they saved their asses. But basically, I guess Joe Simpson barged in, to dissuade that marriage, because there was a scene where in that show Newlyweds, featuring those two that came on MTV after the Osbournes made their debut. There was a scene where Lachey and Joe Simpson were playing golf, and all the time Simpson was on the phone ignoring Nick Lachey. And let's not forget that Joe Simpson made everybody uncomfortable when he was talking about his daughter Jessica's breast. That's like, everybody was like, what the fuck? Why is he talking about that? Basically, I think what we wanted to do was ruin that marriage. Now, eventually she did decide to leave him, but I think it may have been on her own terms, not Joe's.
That's what Keith said about his mom. He said he wants to grab his mother just by the pussy. That's fine, right, Keith? Or...
I didn't say that.
What?
All right, sorry.
What?
Misheard.
But
and then you want to get into the manager of CCR.
Mm-hmm.
They basically stole all the songs, and John Fogerty for a long time couldn't even play his own songs.
Oh man, yeah, and this was the guy that also ran their old label, Fantasy Records. You know, what's the guy's name again?
Right.
I know.
Oh, heck, I don't know.
I know because I think. Let me look at here. Blah blah blah. Let me look at. Give me a couple of minutes, guys. But basically, this guy was like this man kept John Fogerty in lawsuit after lawsuit. At one point, he even sued Fogerty over plagiarism, over his own songs, saying that the Old Man Down the Road was the same as Run Through the Jungle in terms of lyrics and everything, and how the song is sang and stuff. You know, let me see what this here. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Fantasy Records. Okay, let me do this.
Brad, how'd you get that on your thing?
How about what?
How'd you get that, like the background moving on your stream?
Oh, I just put two GIFs together there. All right, there.
Oh, it's a movie. It's an animated GIF.
Okay, there. All right. It was founded by brothers. Yeah, it is. It's two GIFs mixed together. Yes.
Wub, 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 wub.
It's an animated GIF.
Yeah, pretty much here. It's something like that. I got it from the first. Yeah, it's a outer space GIF that I put together in the background there. All right.
All right, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead, Keith.
Right.
You got the.
And the guy's name is Zal Zantz, spelled Zaentz. That's the name of it. And some of his echo switches were funded in part by the success of Creedence Clearwater Revival, a group that he also managed. Creedence was signed by Fantasy Records in 1964 as the Blue Velvets, but the label renamed it the Collywog so it would fit in more with the British invasion. After a couple of failed releases under that name, the group changed its name to Creedence Clearwater Revival in '68, and released their first hit record, a cover version of Susie Q. In 1971, Fantasy built its headquarters in a quarter of Berkeley, California. The building was nicknamed the house that Creedence built. Remember that? Creedence was one of the big names that built that record label there when you look at it. In 2004, Fantasy was sold to a consortium led by American television writer and producer and activist Norman Lear, and merged with Concord Records to create Concord Music Group. Although some operations were still located in Berkeley, California, the label was later headquartered in the Concord location of Beverly Hills, California. Shortly after that, Fantasy was purchased by Concord. John Fogerty, the lead singer of Creedence Clearwater Revival, resigned with the label after leaving that in the 1970s after falling out with Zantz, who died in 2014. Now, the current roster is Ry Cooder, Valerie June, of course, the Government Mule, Steve Perry, I guess from Journey as well there, and a couple of others there. Oh, Seether is on there as well. Switchfoot, James Taylor, oh wow, Tanya Tucker, and this group, I guess it's, Bailin, Bailen. That's the name of the band there. And of course, Fogarty himself. I guess the new president there, had different ideas than Zantz and decided, let's work on this there. And I think now Fogarty now owns the ownership of his songs, if I'm correct. Finally, after how many years?
I believe so.
Good, because he wrote those songs. He was the main songwriter for Creedence there. Yep. And unfortunately, there'll be no CCR reunion because he resented his other bandmates for apparently siding with Zantz, if I'm correct.
And Tom Fogarty's dead.
Yeah, Tom's brother. Yeah, I guess Tom Fogarty resented John for a number of years, unless it's a civil rivalry, usual bullshit. Because I saw in the interview that at his deathbed, he said Zantz is his best friend, which hurt John very much after all the lawsuits and everything else. Well, and that was really a shock to hear that. It's like, geez, you want to talk about getting things worked out between the two of you before his time is gone, and he says this? The fuck? Oh, makes you wonder at times there. Oh, we also got to talk about Lou Pearlman, the guy who managed all these boy bands in the 2000s. This man was a piece of work as well. There's a documentary that came on, I guess it was on Netflix, not too long back there, interviewing ex-members of boy bands that he managed, talking about
Dr. Earl.
Yeah.
Is that guy you just said from Orlando?
Orlando?
Florida.
Orlando, Florida? The Lou Pearlman?
Yeah, the one who managed
that's him. Yes, that's him. That's
Okay.
him right there. He died in 2016 at the Federal Correction Institution in Florida. He was serving prison time.
Wow.
And they're going,
For what?
oh, he was doing a Ponzi. He had this long-running Ponzi
how'd you know
schemes
that?
in the U.S. history, leaving more than. Go ahead.
Because I know, like the NSYNC started in Orlando, Backstreet Boys started in Orlando,
Yep.
O-Town started in Orlando.
Yep. Exactly there. And
Yeah,
this guy didn't pay the boy bands enough, apparently, as well there. He kept money for himself for these Ponzi schemes.
Danny MT, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Aaron Carter thing? We've been talking about it the past week or so. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, that's kind of jumping in between what they were talking about there, but not you're doing anything wrong, but I don't know what to think about this shit. The dude, I think he's kind of weird, personally. Something's off with it, and I don't know what this stuff is about him. In the event that all these things that he talks about and what's going on and all that, and the hate that he receives, which he does, and he feels like he's down and out on his luck, and
Yes.
why can't people respect him now? After he talks about these kind of things, it's just kind of weird. But he's not a big enough person to be like in the spotlight right now of to talk about it. So it's hard for me to. If this makes any fucking sense, what I'm saying right now,
He's huge though, bro. He was basically
He was huge
the
for a while there.
Millenniums.
he was
He was like the
for a while.
Millenniums version of Michael
I said
Jackson.
it wasn't my jam.
For a
I
short
went
while.
through a lot of things. I went through a lot of things in my life. All of us do. But he's making this into something where it's really tearing him down and wearing him out. Is that a reach for
Help.
publicity for
Maybe
people?
so.
Is it like that, or is it like
Sometimes when someone who was big in the years before is trying to make it big again in this day and age, but is having a difficult time, they'll try to do something, to get themselves boosted, gain some publicity. I mean, they'll do anything good.
try to chase back the relevance?
Exactly. Yeah.
And God forgive me if I'm wrong about that, you know, like if this guy really is dead ass serious, well then I'll feel bad, but we don't know that. To me, the way it comes off, it's like, hey, look at me still, I still exist. Kind of get back into relevance.
Exactly. Another
It's
example?
only an opinion. It's only an opinion.
Yeah, but like you got to think like when you, and whether it's the artist's fault or not, you know, when they were in their prime and they got all those $1 million deals, bonuses, all that stuff, you know, the friends in their circle around them, you know, who's there for them now? Are they all lonely now? Do they just use them for, you know, the money and the parties and stuff like
Most
that? You know,
like it. It's usually like
that's
that.
hello.
Yeah, that comes
That really is,
that
you
is
know,
kind of
tears
like
up a
that.
person
Like,
as well.
that's
That tears
uh,
up a person as
actors.
well. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Look at MC Hammer. He had this massive entourage with him all the time there. You know, like he was actually paying him out of his management and in his pockets, out of the royalties. It was that he was out there. He was
right.
actually,
But let's get back to the topic at hand. I just wanted to
and
give you
also let
that
me
opinion.
throw this in here just as well. You may remember that teen singer Tiffany from the '80s there.
No.
No, man. She had a couple of covers. She did a cover of Tommy James and the Shondells. I think we're old now. The Beatles. I saw him
Yeah,
standing
that
there. She posed nude for Playboy many years back there, and it was and one of the people who used to be associated with her, was like, I guess it was a management individual. The guy was like, "Well, why'd you do this?" Well, she's like, "Well, it was to get you to notice me, to get myself on top again, try to get myself some publicity. You know, like what the fuck, you know." People do whatever desperate measures, you know, to keep themselves relevant. I mean, look at Michael Jackson. He was trying to make himself relevant way back in 2001. His prime was done. Too much scandal had kind of like messed up his name, you know. But he was still coming out with these videos where he's doing all the same moves over and over, having these guest appearances from Marlon Brando, Macaulay Culkin, and all one music video. He basically wanted to remain in our lives back during the Thriller era. And
right.
it was killing him. Deep down, it must have been killing him because, you know, that phase is gone. Time to move on to the next phase. But he wanted to go back into the old phase. And he was trying his best to keep himself relevant. Yeah, he was relevant, all right, but for the wrong reasons. Met all that plastic surgery, the sexual molestation accusations that were on his
Well,
shoulders there.
you got to be fair. You got to be fair, Doctor, on that. Whatever. I mean, like this dude shook the world when he fucking came out and did the moonwalk on with Billie Jean or whatever. I mean, he
Yes.
did a lot of things prior to these weird surgeries. These fucking
He did, yeah.
these fucking little
The video
Ferris
thriller?
Alice and Macaulay Culkin and all that, whatever.
Yeah.
I think he
In the
was more
beginning,
popular than Elvis
it
too. I
changed
think.
the fucking game. Nobody could touch him with dancing. He was coming out with new shit all the time. I mean, he was like an untouchable motherfucker. So if you're that kind of person, and then later on that starts to disappear, it's like, what? I know for a fact, me, if I was someone like that, I'd be like, what the fuck just happened? What can I do to get this shit rocking and rolling again? Like, I don't want to be overseen because all these newbies are coming in. Now, I wouldn't go to the extent of what he did. You know, like,
Yeah.
I do some fucking other crazy shit, but like nothing fucking creepy.
Yeah, like he did in that Living with Michael Jackson TV special that was on ABC back in 2000, when he said there's nothing wrong with sleeping with a child. That got everybody
I saw a video
perked
about
up.
that the day before yesterday. It's funny
Yeah.
you bring that up. Yes. It's all out of love. It's all out of respect. The children
right.
come to me. They love me. And you know what? I'm not going to turn away a child if they want to lay by me
Oh,
in
gosh.
my bed. Like, no, bro. Nah. I'm going to
Yeah,
have to fucking punch you in your mouth if my fucking kid lays by you in your bed.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty
exactly.
sure my fucking kid ain't right. He ain't going to be raised to be like, can I crawl in bed with you, Michael Jackson? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yes, and then the next thing you know, I guess one of them where the kids was mentioned was, of course, Wade Robson, the guy we talked about yesterday, who apparently was the man who helped apparently broke up Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake's relationship back in around that time there. He was the other man in Britney's life behind Justin's back there. But apparently he was interviewed in that Leaving Neverland documentary that was on HBO a couple years back. Super Ugly Show talked about it.
Have you ever seen
on their
that? Have you seen
no, I
that?
haven't, but I got a good description of all. We didn't have HBO back then, but like I said, I got a good description on what was the whole thing was about. And apparently, Robson was now coming out and saying, "Yeah, he did touch me after all these years. Yeah, he did touch me," after denying that he didn't. Apparently, I guess what it was is that they had to wait till the guy croaked for them to finally come out and say so. As well, there. And let's not forget Papa Joe Jackson. He was it's no secret now that he did physically abuse his kids, and that you think maybe that may have led to Michael's strange actions.
Well, that's what they say because like his father was definitely abusive, not
Yeah.
only physically but sexually.
Oh
Actually, and emotionally too. Like it was a full fucking round shit show for all the kids. And, psychologists, psychiatrists, what have you, will say that, it is very prevalent when it comes to children that are exposed to that they might in return do the same things.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, I feel kind of bad for him, but at the same time, it's not like a forgiven thing. His dad was fucked up. I mean, like, what's her name? His hot ass sister that everybody loves.
That's Janet.
Janet Jackson. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful black woman, amazing fucking artist. Just an astonishing fucking wonderful fucking personality. Like, and she's even had sit downs and talked about like what happened with the family and like how the dad was to them, what he would do to them, whatever. You cannot fucking take that as like a grain of salt or like, man, maybe she's bullshitting. Like, no, that's just not her style.
No, you can't because it's going to fuck you up for how many years until you seek professional help there.
Right.
And plus, let's not forget, he was basically kind of like pushed away one of their brothers, Jermaine Jackson, because apparently there was having some issues with Motown. The label needed some help. Jermaine wanted to stay with Motown and help them out during their issues there. Where Joe Jackson was like, he had these contracts for CBS Records, and he got like everyone else to sign, but Jermaine was like, nope, I want to stay with Motown because they helped us pay for school, they helped us with everything there, tour buses, finances and everything. And Motown at the time was in some sort of a dire straits situation. I'm not too sure what it was there. And basically, Joe Jackson just went off saying it's my blood through Jermaine, not Barry Gordy's daughter. Because Barry Gordy's daughter was whom Jermaine was seeing at that time there.
Right.
Yeah. And let's also not forget, another thing I wanted to talk about is LaToya. Was she that hungry for attention? Or because, here's something else I bring up there. You remember when she agreed that Michael Jackson did molest those kids and that he needs to seek help back around 1993, 94? She was being called out by the family for doing so, aiding to his downfall.
Right.
Years with the revelation of what all that we spoke of, and now it makes you wonder that maybe LaToya was right after all.
She was right, bro. And that's the thing, and that's what's fucking corrupt about society, or ignorant, actually, should I say, about societies, because you look at somebody like Michael Jackson. There is only, on one hand, can we count with 5 fingers, maybe, that are on that level of such an amazing fucking artist. Music, dancing, performance, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, really, who the fuck can you match him up against? you can't go past 5 fingers. I will argue that.
Nope.
So, with having such an influence on millions upon millions of people over years and years and years of time, it's hard to try to accept the fact that you hear this dark, dirty shit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You see somebody that you look up to as like, man, this guy is fucking amazing. His music is fucking wonderful. His dancing is off the chain. He's a great choreographer. You know, like he does all these things. These things. Like, wow, where can you say something wrong about Michael Jackson? All of a sudden,
my sister was a big fan of him back then. You know, now she's like, oh my gosh, when that trial was going on, she's like resented the shit out of him.
Yeah, well, no, I did too, and it was hard because I looked at him as I was growing up as like, this guy's just, man, like he's the king, of everything. Like he's just the king, And then such allegations. It's not like it was something dumb like, oh, he got caught with weed. No, we're talking about super serious allegations. So it makes you go from looking at someone like a king to looking at someone like, what? Could you really be
that person?
Yeah, could you be that person? Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it. That's fucking hard. That takes a toll on people. And people are going to have their opinions, and they're going to fucking feel the way they want to feel. Oh, it's bullshit, this, that, and the other. Everybody's different, and everybody's fucking weird in their own way. So, it is what it is. But I don't think for 1 second that anybody in his family or anybody else that was close to him would just shame him and slander him and say that he did these so-called things when he didn't. Like, no way, dude. No way. Like, nah. And especially, too, like, people want to talk shit about, like, oh, well, they say it after he said. Well, you know what? When you got somebody that has that much money and that much clout and that much backup,
yes,
do you really want to go against that person?
It's kind of hard to. No, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like if it was like me and you, Earl, like if we were in fucking court and we've got our own attorney, but he's got 20 attorneys with him, and we're saying these things and it's the truth, but all of a sudden it gets overruled and turned, and you and I go to prison for 20 years for
oh my gosh,
supposedly lying, but it was the truth.
Perjury.
Do you really want to fuck with that?
Yeah,
No.
I understand. Yeah.
Man, if he's dead now, yeah, I'll talk.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Another person I'm going to bring up that really, that you find out the dark things about that individual, Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah, of course. That's
for years we respected this guy for his movies, his comedy skits, and his comedy albums, the TV shows that he was involved in, whether it's Fat Albert or the Cosby Show.
Huxtable, man.
Exactly, man. He was America's favorite dad, and then we find out that he was drugging all these chicks, banging them while they were unconscious. I mean, that's a twist. That's sexual assault, no matter what. And a lot of them, of course, was non-consensual. That's considered also rape.
Yep.
And then find out that he was doing all this shit back in the way he was in the 60s. It's like, what the hell? And the thing I could never understand is why his wife Camille tolerated it.
Must have been the money, dude. Some people are like that. Like I said, everybody's fucked up in their own way. Yeah. I think that it might have been like fame, glory, and money, security. But that definitely doesn't justify it at all.
Not at all. It's wrong. It's sickening, and it's and because of all this, all those decades of work that he put into to all the movies, the TV shows, as well as the speeches he gave at various colleges, encouraging those to seek education over a life of crime. All that now has been forever tarnished to shit because of this dark sexual fetish he has been doing for how many years now.
Yep. And do you remember, who was it that he went on a TV show live broadcasting in front of everybody in the world, and he was telling the dude about like, oh yeah, it was so great back in the early 80s, late 70s when we had Spanish Fly and you put a little
Oh
drop.
my gosh, yes. I remember that was a that was a comedy skit on one of his earlier albums. I remember
I
that,
don't.
about that,
You know
yes.
what? I really don't believe that it was a comic skit. I believe that it was the truth,
Yeah.
because he was found out later on date rape type of shit. So why would you make a comedy skit about you putting something in someone's drink to where they're incapacitated, don't know what's going on, wake up in the morning, don't remember what the fuck happened, and he's in prison right now for doing that exact thing?
Yeah.
Do you really find it as a comedy skit?
Nope, not really.
I mean, like,
It's
you got to
not.
think about this, bro. Like, this dude was fucking literally. There was a lot of people that came out and talked. I watched a documentary. I wish I remembered the name off the top of my fucking head. Where people were like, yeah, no, like way back when he was like young, and he was just doing stand up,
Yeah.
and they would be
I
like,
Spy, the
oh,
TV
you would
series.
catch him like crushing shit up and putting it in the drink.
Yeah.
This and that. This happened to my friend. That happened to my friend. Whatever, this
Yeah.
happened to me. Or they would catch him in the act.
Yeah.
And this is not something that happened later on while he was old. This is literally before he became like big. This was when he was just on a fucking stage,
Yeah.
doing his comedy bit.
Plus his
Come on.
co-starring duties in the show I Spy. Remember, he was also the first black actor on the primetime series at that time, alongside Robert Culp.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's just like, geez, like, but at the same time, like, we can't help it. It's just years later on, we find out that the guys that that everybody looked up to, was this way or that way, and we can't help it.
Was basically a fucking weirdo. Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
In their own way, form, or fashion, it was a fucking weirdo.
Exactly.
Um,
All right, there. So, let me go back to Lou Pearlman and this Ponzi.
okay, yeah. Don't let me get you off.
Okay, yeah, because I have to talk about this. In 2006, Lou Pearlman, the guy behind the Backstreet Boys, and the man behind this label called Transcon Records, get this. Investigators discovered that Pearlman had perpetrated the longest-running Ponzi scheme in the U.S. history and had defrauded investors out of more than $1 billion, which is about $300 million, is still missing. For more than 20 years, Pearlman had enticed individuals and banks to invest in Transcontinental Airlines, as a record label Transcon Records, and both companies' parent, Transcontinental International Incorporated. All three companies were fictions that existed only on paper, at least until Pearlman's boy bands took off and Transcon was profiting from these signed acts, like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. He turned the groups and their fame into the engine to further expand his Ponzi scheme. Pearlman also falsified Federal Deposit Insurance Company, AIG, and Lloyd's of London documents to win the confidence of investors in his program entitled Employee Investment Savings Account. And he used fake financial statements created by the fictitious accounting firm Cohen and Siegel to secure bank loans. Now, in 2007, Florida regulators announced that Pearlman's Transcontinental Savings Program was indeed a massive fraud, and the state took possession of the company. Most of at least $95 million, which was collected from the investors, was gone. Orange County Circuit Judge Rene Roach ordered Pearlman and two of his associates to bring back the United States, quote, any assets taken aboard which were derived from illegal transactions. Following from a flight from officials over the course of which he had reportedly been seen in Israel and Germany, Pearlman was arrested in Indonesia in June 14, 2007, after being spotted by a tourist couple from Germany. He had been living at a tourist hotel Perlman had been seen in Orlando in late January 2007. By early February in Germany, including appearance on German television that same month. He was also seen in Russia, Israel, Spain, Panama, Brazil, and Belarus. I think it's
Belarus.
Belarus, thank you. And in early February, an attorney in Florida received a letter from Perlman sent from Bali. Perlman had been indicted by a federal grand jury on June 27, 2007. Specifically, he was charged with 3 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of mail fraud, and 1 count of wire fraud. Now, days before his sentencing in May of 2008, he requested a phone and an internet connection for 2 days a week to continue to promote his bands. Oh, gosh. Yeah, the bands, they hardly even paid. They sued to get off his management. They later signed with a dude named Johnny Wright, who did them good-ass justice there. Federal Judge G. Kendall Sharp of the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida rejected the request. On May 21, 2008, Sharp sentenced Perlman to 25 years in prison on charges of conspiracy, money laundering, and making false statements during a bankruptcy proceeding. Perlman could reduce his prison time by 1 month for every $1 million he helped a bankruptcy trustee recover. He also ordered individual investors to be paid before institutions and distributions and any eventual assets. Now, because of this, they were forced into bankruptcy in 2007. Trustees and lenders intended to auction off Perlman's assets, personal belongings, including a mansion full of well-known works of art, priceless memorabilia. They quickly discovered the art and memorabilia was fake, believe it or not. And what could be sold was auctioned through eBay and a traditional bankruptcy auction house. Church Street Station, a historic train station in downtown Orlando, which Perlman had purchased in 2002, was sold at this auction for about $34 million. Several of Perlman's belongings, including his college degrees, were purchased by the AV Club. Journalist and film critic Nathan Rabin during the eBay auction. And this guy basically lived off the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all these other boy bands that he was managing to finance this fucking ass scheme. And in the end, it got him in the long run. And as a result now, his name is forever tarnished. Well, and of course he died and he's been dead for a couple of years there, so basically he did himself in the worst way there.
Yup.
Yep. And there's another way to mention, Tony DeFries, who headed up Main Man Management. That also had David Bowie under his roster. He also signed Iggy Pop and the Stooges at the suggestion of David Bowie, because Bowie was a big fan of Iggy's and the Stooges' first album back in 1969. He apparently he listed one of his favorites in some music poll. He was like, never heard of this guy. He would later invite Iggy, Ron Ashton, Scott Ashton, and their new guitarist James Williamson to come over to London to record what would be Raw Power, one of the first best proto-punk albums of all time. Now, the Freeze apparently wasn't paying Bowie that much, and neither was Iggy. Iggy said in an interview he would approach the Freeze and say, "Hey, where's my money?" And he would come up with this excuse like, well, Bowie needed this. Well, Bowie had to do that. And meanwhile, Bowie be like, "Oh, where's my money?" And he'd be like, "Well, Iggy needed some dental work done and such there." And then hardly those guys that got paid there. So they left Main Man Management, and they've been successful ever since there. They managed to get on through. Iggy's still around. Tony DeFries would later try his hand with managing John Mellencamp, and he made the mistake of putting out this album of demos titled "The Kid Inside," and which was released without Mellencamp's approval there, and I guess he sued DeFreeze as a result. So Tony DeFreeze, he's another one that deserves a boot in the ass for bad management.
Yup, agreed.
Yeah. And also, we cannot forget, the management that mismanaged Badfinger. I think Ark knows about that one. They didn't really do that good job of managing that group.
And two of the members ended up killing themselves.
Yeah, Pete Hand and Tom Evans. Yeah, that was, oh man.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And these are the guys that composed that hit song "Without You," which would later be covered by Hart. It was also covered by Mariah Carey. Nelson as well there.
Nelson had the big hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nielsen.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Harry Nielsen. I forgot this. Nielsen. Yeah, that's right. He had a big hit with that song there.
Nilsson.
Yeah.
Hart covered that?
Yes, they did it on the album called Magazine. It came out in 1977 there.
I gotta look that up. I didn't know that.
Look up the album. Look up the album Heart Magazine album, and you see what I'm talking about there. I had that album there.
And that's one of your contract obligation releases.
Absolutely there. And apparently the story is that Mushroom Records. Here's the story. See what you guys think of this. Mushroom Records, when Dreamboat Annie first came out, it was selling modestly. They put out this full-page ad of the Wilson sisters, Ann and Nancy, in one of the outtakes from the Dreamboat Annie cover shoot there. And it read like a National Choir headline. It said, "It was only our first time." Now, I guess it was meant to be their first time making it big in rock and roll, but it was also presented in a kind of like a sexual matter, kind of incesty, tone there. When the band found out about this, and they basically took Mushroom Records to court. Plus, they found out that Mushroom didn't pay them a certain amount of money there in royalty checks there. And there was a resolvement, and later on, Hart would go on to sign with CBS and record Little Queen, while Mushroom was allowed the rights to release the tracks that they're recording for their next record to be released as Magazine. And he also threw in a couple live tracks in there that they recorded as well there, to complete the album. And the hit song from
their cover of "I've Got the Music in Me."
Yeah, that's right. That was the closing track from the album there. Now let's not forget the hit single from that album, "Heartless." That was well played on the radio for a good number of years there.
Yep, true.
Absolutely there. And of course, the one we mentioned, "Without You," the Badfinger cover there. Yeah. Guy, and we cannot forget the manager of Black Sabbath, and of course Peter Frampton. Their managers ripped them off as well.
Not the same guy.
Not the same guy, no. And also cannot forget David Krebs, who co-managed Ted Nugent. They used Ted Nugent's finances, his album earnings, to these things like mink farms and other shit, all which went. So basically, Nugent found out he was flat as broke as a result. So for a while, Nugent was even managing himself for a brief time there until he found a suitable management there. Even Black Sabbath, he had managed themselves because they were afraid of getting ripped off because of their previous management. They wasn't earning that much because they naively signed these contracts. Which is another thing. I spoke about this a couple times. Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath agrees on doing this. Everyone agrees on this. Read your contract very, very carefully before you sign on the damn dotted line. Because there's always going to be that one clause that's going to fuck you up in the end there.
Yeah, look for that fine print.
Yeah, absolutely there. You got to realize you could end up, you can end up, not only the rights to your music, let alone your mansion or your automobiles. In Sabbath's case, the management owned everything. And whatever money that they was making was usually spent on drug addiction. Because they were massive druggies back then, especially Ozzy.
Yeah.
In fact, it took about how many years for Sharon Osbourne to get her man Ozzy out of the contract of her father, Don Arden.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And of course, we cannot forget, some of the record company management as well there can do some devious shit. What they did to Tom Schultz of Boston. They held him. They froze his royalty checks for a good number for months until he saw a lawyer to get out of that contract with CBS, because CBS demanded that third Boston record, and they were not taking no for an answer. And he even went ahead. They even went ahead as to send a letter to other record labels not to touch the record. And the man behind this was Walter Yetnikoff. And I guess he lost his job in around 1990 there because of some shit that he was doing as well there. Also, which is kind of awkward because it was Yetnikoff that recommended Billy Joel to take a look at his finances because they found out his management was fucking them over there. Man.
Dog world, man. It's a bunch of fucked up shit, huh?
Yeah, so many people want to make money off it, and they want to keep it the most themselves because they figure, I'm the man I'm the idol maker, I'm the management, I'm the one who does this for you, I'm the one who does that to you. I mean, to me, probably the two best managers out there will have to be Brian Epstein, who worked with the Beatles until his death in '68, and Peter Grant, who managed Led Zeppelin, and then later also Bad Company. Grant was a badass when it came to management. He had witnessed the way many bands had got ripped off by promoters, managers, agents.
Who was the manager of Kiss?
Sexual traffickers.
Well, there was two management. Well, the original was Bill Aucoin. They departed from him around 1982 there, and the man that took over and still manages them today is Doc McGee, who also handled Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And Doc McGee is actually right now on medication because he has the curved penis syndrome. They've been showing that on
really?
Yeah.
So is Turkish
like a curved Thai banana.
So his dick is now shaped like a letter C.
No, yeah. It's basically like the head is looking back at him in his face.
Oh gosh.
I completely made that up, but
I know, but you know what? I can imagine how it feels. What kind of guy has to go through that? Look at that, your own dickhead looking up back at you.
The only reason why that made me think that, there's been commercials lately of this shit, like with carrots, and people are like,
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm like,
yes, I know.
Fuck. So, yeah, no, a commercial came on, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to throw it on him. I'm just going to say he has a carrot.
There's this rap. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
There's this rap song called Look Back at It. It's by A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Who?
A Boogie with the Hoodie. He's from New York.
Oh, wow.
He has a song called Look Back at It.
Look back at it, yeah, but what's the song about?
It's about this girl in his class, like she keeps looking back at him, but I don't know, and then like he's in the rain or something, and then he's like in the hood. I don't know, like it's like look back at it. I can't do it.
Listen to it again so you can actually explain. What he's doing right now is like super weird.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, why are you bringing this up during a discussion about management?
oh, because Danny MT said, "Look back at it."
Please.
Huh?
Yeah, you were talking about like a curve
Yeah,
shaped
but it was-
penis. It was. He said, "Look back at it."
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with
Commercial,
the
I didn't say-
song.
Back at it.
Oh, all right.
Jeez, dude.
I don't know. Shit just got weird. But anyways,
More than weird, it got awkward as fuck.
All right, my bad.
All right, there. Keith's been known to do that a couple times there. Like I mentioned,
Go off
something
on a
happened.
plane.
Yep. I mentioned something back in 1991 there at a musical or something there. And he's like, oh, that's when this Drake's father left him. It's like, what's this have to do with what we're talking about?
it has everything to do with it.
Not to me.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You did. Many episodes back there,
No,
dude.
I mean, no, I wouldn't say it has everything to do with it.
Yeah, but still, when we're on the subject, you get the idea, man.
Yeah, I get the idea. Yep.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I
Please.
won't
in
do that
peace.
anymore.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah. Yeah, rapper.
Yeah,
who
he
back-
died because he was making a documentary about Eastern medicine, as opposed like Eastern medicine is better than Western medicine. And he got killed for making that documentary.
No, he didn't.
What?
He got killed
Yeah.
because he was fucking crippin'. He was in the wrong area, wrong time.
Oh, yeah.
It had
Oh.
nothing to do with talking about medicine.
Jeez.
I heard the wrong story.
We got obviously there. You got to remember, Keith's a guy who he talks about Illuminati in every sentence he used to say a lot of times.
Yeah, you're right.
Not everything is Illuminati. I do believe
Exactly.
in some stuff, but no. Nipsey
Not
Hussle
even
died
Doc
because
McGee's
he was in
curved
the wrong
penis.
spot, the wrong time, and the Bloods got him. It was solely over fucking gang-related fucking violence. That
It's
was
absolutely there. Remember, the Bloods and
Oh,
the Crips
it's
don't
that.
give a shit there.
Yeah, but I thought Nipsey Hussle was trying to keep the peace.
No, he was trying to keep the peace in his neighborhood for his people. He wasn't trying to keep peace with rivalry gangs. He wanted
Oh, okay.
from his hood to get better, make money. He opened up places or whatever for children to congregate, and like he was doing good things, but it was for quote unquote his people. Not going
Black
a couple
people, yeah.
blocks down on Slauson and getting Bloods to come over there. Like, no. He was ready to fucking blast on sight. They knew that, so he got caught
Well-
slipping one day, and he got caught up.
Me and
That's it.
Keith, we support Charleston White. You know who that is?
Yes.
Charleston
Yeah, I
White
watched.
needs
No, I
to
haven't
be
heard
watched him.
caught. I don't even know how he's still alive. I don't even know.
I know, right? But people, I guess at the end of the day, all these rappers are full of shit. I mean, he'll run into someone who, whatever, but you
It'll
know.
come. It'll come sooner or later. Someone's looking out for him, man. Like he's got a guardian angel looking out for him. I don't know how he's still here, but
He
He-
kind
he's
of looks like Lord Jamal, Lord Jamal from that rap group in the '80s.
Which being?
You know, Lord Jamal is most known for recently. Well, a couple of years ago, he said, like, black people don't listen to Eminem in the hood. Eminem's not the best rapper. Eminem's a guest in hip hop. He said that like 1 or 2 years ago, and there was a whole big thing about that.
We don't know about-
Excuse me. There was a duet between Lil Wayne and Eminem. And guess who dominated in the rhyming skills? Eminem. Thank you very much. I
Yeah,
remember hearing that song. It was called No Love when I was working in Richmond, Michigan there. That song was being played a lot on the
Dr.
radio.
Brown's a huge Lil Wayne
Oops.
fan. I mean,
No.
Eminem fan.
Yeah, not really that much.
Yes.
I mean, I respect his, not all that, but I'm not gonna praise him all the time like this one girl I dated.
Praising him right
Eminem
now.
this, Eminem this, Eminem that, Eminem this. Like, give
We
me
all
a
know
break.
Lil Wayne. We
But
all
you
know
know
Lil Wayne's way better than Eminem. Come on.
Well, I know. I don't have any records, so I'm not saying not share.
What about rap management, Keith? You know anything about these rap managers? Suge Knight.
Yeah, he needs to be brought up.
I
This,
know about. Oh. Okay. All right.
uh-oh.
Whoa.
You tell her to
Hey.
voice down.
They're
Nah.
yelling at you, Keith.
I don't know who the fuck she thinks she is. She needs to keep that fucking busted ass English down.
Oh man. She probably heard. She'll probably go up to Mike and cuss you out, Danny.
Yeah, I would love for her to try. I think
Yeah.
she's horrible about herself.
Get your rebel wire already. Ding ding ding.
No, I'm wearing headphones. Like they can't hear you guys. I'm wearing
Well, like
headphones.
that's against the rules there to wear headphones. Like, you better take off your fucking headphones, you fucking white fuck.
No. She said no. She said she's mopping the floor, so like she doesn't want me to walk on the wet floor.
Oh, okay.
She can tone that voice down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scream at your stupid ass wet floor.
Oh shit.
Yo.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, you got to look at Suge Knight. We got to discuss the shit that he was doing,
Oh
man.
yeah, I know.
Make
I
it
know
right.
Suge Knight.
Not personally, but you know about him, actually.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, this guy was. This guy had the thug mentality down to a pat. He made threats against he was going after P Diddy or P Diddy Combs for a number of years. He saw him as competition, wanted him removed. Apparently, he made a threat at Vanilla Ice at one point there, or was some dispute there. And he was the guy who he basically figured that using threats and violence was the way to get your achievements go through well. And basically, he ran Death Row Records like a dictatorship. At one point, Dr. Dre, who co-founded the label with him, after seeing the recording engineer get the shits knocked out of him for rewinding the tape too far back, Dr. Dre said, you know what, I'm out of here. And he was confronted by Suge Knight. No shit went down there. But he was given his release there. And later on, Snoop Doggy Dogg, he decided to leave the record label because, they figured there was nothing left there. And how does Suge Knight respond to that? He puts up something on some webpage of a dog getting shot and yelping before it dies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Suge Knight putting that video up of the dog. I've never seen it, but that sounds like him actually being a nice person, because like he wasn't a nice person.
Being a nice person.
That's
because he was a dictator. So, like even Eazy-E was like, and at Death Row, I hear you getting treated like boot camp. Gotta follow your sergeant's directions or get your ass popped with a Smith & Wesson.
Yeah.
Stay in your place. Real motherfucking G's.
Mm-hmm. That's how Suge was. I mean, it's obviously, and what the story was that apparently I saw a brief video tip this on MTV News back then, prior when Tupac got shot. Apparently, he was riding with Suge when he got shot to death, and there was actual footage I remember seeing of them getting into some scuffle with security guards, and apparently it was Atlantic City, if I was correct, or Las Vegas, one of those two areas there. But there was a photograph of Suge and Tupac was looking at the camera, it's like, uh-oh, and you can see the look on his face, and like, and let's not forget, Suge kind of also instigated the East Coast, West Coast feud between both for hip hop sides there. When he said, when he dogged, P Diddy, with being in all the rap videos that's under his roster,
right?
he basically wanted to rule the rap game and saw the Puff Daddy as a threat, and he basically was trying to get everybody to like him and make everybody hate P. Diddy. Let's also not forget
Yes.
that it was also Suge that apparently came with the idea that it was Biggie's plot to have Tupac killed and robbed during that one night there when Tupac was in New York City.
Right.
That's where that song "Hit 'Em Up" came from.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you could also see the gangsters. No, not the what's that song with Snoop Dogg and it let me look it up.
Gangster something there.
Snoop Dogg and Tupac.
I think
America's Most Wanted.
I think
In the
so. Yeah.
beginning of the video, you see Tupac coming to Biggie's office, and Biggie was like on the phone, and he said, "Yo, like he's dead, man." Or Diddy was like, "He's dead. It's on and popping." And then Pac comes into the room, and then Biggie's like, "Yo, Pac, I'm glad you're alive, man." And Pac was like, "You a goddamn liar."
I know. That was a dig at Biggie, no doubt about that. Well, let's not. There was a dig that Dr. Dre did on Eazy-E. They had a guy that looked like had a Eazy-E looked like, and a guy some white guy with a contract, just sign your life or line your life away, or you're on the dotted line there. And next thing you know, we see a red dot on Eazy-E's, on this fake Eazy-E's place. Of course, it's from Dr. Dre.
Yep, that was Fuck with Dre Day.
Yes,
and then
I remember.
After Fuck with Dre Day, Eazy-E came out with Real Motherfucking G's.
Yeah.
And
Those
I think
were
Eazy-E won the beef. What?
What?
What did you just say?
Who?
I think it was YR. I think YR said something there.
Oh, okay.
But basically,
I think.
Go ahead.
I think Eazy-E won the beef. He's like, and Dre Day only made Eazy's payday. And then that big guy, I think his name is BG Knockout. He's like, his verse was fire. Like definitely Real Motherfucking G's was definitely better than Fuck with Dre Day.
We don't know.
Nah, this isn't Real Motherfucking G's.
No, it's something earlier there.
So is this our rap lesson for the night?
Yeah.
Maybe. But it just shows you how.
564.
Yeah, but basically it shows how crooked the rap game is.
Right.
They call me Dr. Earl Dan Brown. I play damn guitar all over town. Go to damn bar, go to Gothic Club, Vampire. I'll wake up in the morning upside down. Call me Batman or Vampire. Dr. Brown. Dr. Shitstain took a shit hard stool in my. No, come on.
What the fuck?
Yo, check it. Here we go. Here we go. Yo, something back, put it out, so back, no price, show this, go. I did all this, and it's everything.
He's good. He's doing it. He's good. He's hitting it.
All right.
That was gangs of fun.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Communities turned into a shit stain, shit pile. No one cares, no one gives a fuck. No. Remember back in the day, everyone got along in community. Now it's all thrown away. Because everyone acts gay, and they was it not one. It's true though. The only enjoyment I have for mine is the show.
Brush your teeth. Make a move, we're wearing blue and we grip walk. This time when we make that for myself, from whiskey in the hand, got a greenery. That's on the shelf. Community drama bitch make me laugh. Talk about the money y'all make, you have. Pussy come free, gas flow takes a lot of hard work. Dollar bills flying, making bitches twerk. Skype channel talk about the sound muscle. Steady coming by the pound. 3 days, that's one rap. Rest North inning, miss more to come up with trap ball. And I'm fucking messed up. I can't rap right now.
Okay, no.
But I gave it.
That was a
I
good
gave it a
rap.
shot.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
yeah,
like
but,
it.
yeah, it is. I guess.
Real motherfucking G's.
Oh, jeez. Now the point I'm trying to make is that regardless of music genre that you're involved, there's going to be bad matches. So be alert, kids out there. And look at Keith right now.
Real motherfucking G's. Real motherfucking G's. Real motherfucking G's. Hey yo, got this. This is another fucking. Yeah. I don't know this. I don't know the lyrics by heart.
Ark, you want to hop on this rap real quick?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No. Is that a good enough
What about
answer?
Danny MT?
Don't ask me. I can't rap for shit there. All right, there.
You want me to pull
Yeah,
up the lyrics and do the whole
No,
song?
no, no,
What?
no, Keith. No, Keith. Okay. All right, sir. I
No,
think
but
we.
thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right, there. So, does anybody else
Is
add
that a real
anything?
song?
If you want to call it that. Anyways, so does anybody else want to add to this discussion there?
Yeah,
No.
Art, go listen to Easy E.
No,
Real
yes.
Motherfucking
No, not this. Never mind, Easy E. I mean, we're talking about bad management. I already stated my advice to everybody listening. Read your contracts very, very carefully before you sign anything, and look up the resume of this management as well. See if they have been sued, if they have gotten in trouble with any laws or any other firms there. Make sure that they are legit, they are not crooks or anything like that, because in show business, everybody is a fucking rat. Bottom line,
Oh, look.
All right, so.
Right. Got it.
All right, so, do we have any more to add there? Because I think it's probably time to close out the show.
I think
a
it's
wrap
time to
for
close
me. I
up the show.
appreciate y'all calling me or whatever.
What's up?
It was a good talk.
He's
Whatever.
funny.
But it's a
It's
wrap.
good to have you. It's good to have you on the show, Danny. You got to come back sometimes there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Danny,
I'll
you
come
sound
back.
really good on this show. Danny,
Yeah.
you sound really
Yeah,
good
we
on this
did.
show.
Yeah, great topic we had to talk earlier on about Michael Jackson as well.
Yeah,
We did.
Yeah.
All right
It was
there.
good. I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much.
All right there.
I will try to make, a little bit of time here and there, whatever, if I can catch y'all on the sly in between my things that I have to do. So, yeah, no, I appreciate it, man.
All right there. Hey,
Mike,
thank you.
you hear me that cereal off that shelf, boy?
Do what?
What?
Give me that cereal box off that shelf, boy.
Cereal box. What the hell are you talking about? I don't know. I'm just going to agree with you and be like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Times 10.
Keith, you hand me that Hanamon and the salamanders sauce, boy?
Here it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to agree. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, I'm going to agree. Anything you say, I'm going to agree with.
It is true that Dr.
Sounds
Brown
good to me.
Dr. Brown does have a pet's python, baby ball python.
Oh
Right,
my
bro?
gosh.
The pet's name?
God, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm fucking weird. All right, y'all, take it easy, man. I'm gonna dip
All
out.
right there. All right.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Easy.
Danny T, ladies and gentlemen. A special thanks to him for hopping on the show here, being our special guest. All right.
We'll
So,
talk about the music show
Thank y'all.
Wednesday and Thursday.
yeah, let's do that, man. Let's get this. I should probably write this down so I don't forget there. What you got our event planned, Mark?
Oh, I didn't have anything planned. I was just looking for ideas.
I'm looking for ideas as well there. Let's see. Let's see. We could talk about. I have no clue what to. I guess something will pop up later on the week, and if something does, I'll let you guys know about this here.
Okay.
Wire,
Okay,
you got something?
We'll think of something.
we will there for shizzle. Like I said,
Well, I'd suggest doing one of the shows about Thanksgiving songs, but I don't think there are a lot of them.
the only one we
You
know
want
is
to?
Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie. That's about it.
Oh, I got a topic, but you don't have to say yes. We're gonna do it. I just got an idea.
Okay.
What?
Country rock. When they
We
mix
already did
country
that.
and rock together. Oh yeah.
We already
Oh.
did that a couple episodes back, months back
Oh,
there.
okay. All right, yeah. Okay,
I got
now
a
I
better
remember.
idea. Since all the soft rock stations are talking about holiday, are now playing holiday music for the next 2 months there straight on through. We should talk about holiday music, holiday songs. So if they're good, bad, rate them, 1 to 10, all that stuff there. Let's do a show about that next weekend, Thursday or
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Okay, I know my favorite holiday song. It's
We could spend 2
Mariah
episodes
Carey,
on that
Baby
one.
Please Come Home.
Oh,
Please come
Ugh.
home. Mariah Carey, Please Come Home.
screw her.
Ugh.
Screw her. Mine's David Bowie and Bing Crosby, Little Drummer Boy. 20 times more
it's
in
called
depth.
Christmas, Please Come Home. That's what it's called.
Well, either way, there.
Or something.
Well,
Maybe I don't know.
well, we'll straight.
Here's a song to look up and play for Christmas that you probably never heard of.
All right.
Vince Vance and the Valiants. All I Want for Christmas Is You. That is a phenomenal song.
Right. Is that the same one that
I
Mariah
don't
Carey
know.
did?
No, it's a different song.
Okay, there. I see
All
there.
right.
Or yeah, but yeah,
But-
this one here. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. And that's a nobody song, but I think it was by
Yeah,
Spike Jones.
Dr. Earl, have you heard of Fifth Harmony?
I've heard them in the past. I don't listen to their music.
Okay, they redid Mariah Carey.
Keith, save
all I
it for
want
next Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's not.
Yeah.
We're not giving